what was the transition like from high school swimming to swimming at Arizona State? Because obviously you were one of the best, if not the best swimmer in Michigan for the event that you did. Obviously, you're really talented. You're still really talented, but like it has to be different going from being one of the best swimmers in the state, being one of the best swimmers winning a state championship, to now at the D1 level as a freshman at Arizona State.
Yeah, so I would say the biggest difference is the personalization of each workout. So I came in, I was expecting, they told us that we were going to be put into groups, but we had in each group, it was also broken down into something else as well. So I was put in sprint group my freshman year, and they had sprinters like mid distance, and then you had the breaststrokers. So within that one group as well, it broke down to three. So it was very personalized. Each coach knew what little things had to be done. It was a lot of detail work for me. I've actually changed my stroke almost every year now because I've had a different coach each year, and even in the weight room, because I've never really done Olympic lifts. That was a big change for us, especially for me at least. Because I came in there and it was required for all freshmen, which I agree with this completely because I think everybody should get on the same level of form and what's expected, you
Yeah.
know. And so I wasn't expecting that, and it got me very sore very quickly. But it was a lot of fun.
I was just gonna say, like everyone has to get to like a certain level. They obviously want to make sure that you have the correct form, because if you don't have the correct form, especially when it comes to lifting, you're obviously more likely to get hurt. You're going to If you do
Oh
get
yeah,
hurt, you're gonna have not the time in the pool. Which obviously, if you're not in the pool, you're not getting better. If you're not getting better, there's everything just going on. Like it all kind of builds on each other, and
yeah,
that seems like it's something that you learned pretty early on.
yep. And then on top of that, we have trainers as well. So any sort of little injury, if any like little tweak in your shoulder or in your knee, for me sometimes, you're able to just go in, get an appointment, and then they take care of you as long as you need it.
It has to be really nice, obviously, having kind of the help, like the
It
people
really
there,
is.
kind of the amenities that you have, just knowing that, like, hey, like if something doesn't feel right, like you obviously have coaches that support you, but you also have trainers that are there to make sure that everything is okay.
Yeah, precisely. I agree.
Which obviously that's a different feeling probably, because
Oh,
before Arizona State, you're probably like, if you felt something was off, depending on kind of the person that you are, some people might say something, some people might
hmm
not say anything at all, and they might go a little bit slower. But if you're better than everyone else, a little bit slower is still going to be faster than everyone else. So it just
yeah.
is obviously nice having those people there to help you. And I don't know what kind of person exactly you were, but like there's some people that won't say anything if they're feeling off.
Yeah, in high school, I rarely ever said anything just because like if I say something, I know coach is gonna be like, all right, maybe do half or do this, and I always hated it because I'm like, well, I'm not getting better, you know. But at the grand scheme of things, now at this level, it's like you could almost make yourself worse if you push through it. So,
Yeah.
especially like just anything like back related, I go right away to the trainers, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, because being part of breaststroke, like that's just a big part of it. Is your legs, is your lower body. Obviously, shoulders as well. Seems like it's a typical kind of injury for a lot of swimmers as well.
Yeah.
So if
Plenty of
everything's
shoulder
not
injuries here
aligned,
too.
yeah, if everything's not aligned, like it's just not going to go well. And also, breaststroke in itself, it seems like it's one of the most disqualified swim strokes, especially at the Olympics. I know that I talked with this a little bit about with the Magdalene trio about like breaststroke, and they're like, why is breaststroke so disqualifying in the trials? But they just went into detail on like like more dolphin kicks or something like
Yep.
that. Like it's just so detailed that I feel like it's more detailed than any other stroke in swimming.
Yeah, I actually got disqualified at our last nationals for saying I did a dolphin kick almost into the wall because sometimes I finish on just like a stroke and I won't do a kick completely. So they said that my feet kind of went like this almost into the wall. But I mean, it happens. So
Yeah. And also with cameras now as well. I know at
that too.
trials, like it's so much more kind of like going into swimming than maybe what it was prior. Like I feel like cameras really weren't a thing, but now like you with cameras, like you were saying earlier, where basically every single year you're kind of doing a little bit, changing a little bit of your stroke.
Yeah.
Like that's part of kind of like the evolution of swimming. Like I'm sure that you probably sit down with your coaches, you probably sit down with yourself, you probably have a TV right there that are
Yep.
nitpicking every little thing. And if your coach is like, okay, let's change this, obviously you have to adapt to it, but also it probably has to be difficult because you've been swimming one way, doing the stroke one way, and then the
Yes.
next year they're changing your form. Like, is that difficult? Is it easier than people might think? Is it really that big of a change, or is it small little things here and there that makes it not as bad?
On some things for me, I'm able to pretty adapt. I would say pretty good now. But my freshman year, there was a lot of different things changing. They changed my the way I was pulling because I put my arms like very far back, so they
Okay.
brought that forward a little bit more. That was like a big habit that I had to break, and it was not fun trying to do that because
No,
it's
I can
constant
imagine.
reminders.
Yeah, and film.
Yeah, exactly.
And that had to be difficult in itself because one, you're again still kind of transitioning, kind of getting used to obviously the
Hmm.
yards, kind of like the practices are like, but also you've won state championships because of that. Like, was it a little bit of kind of in your head, like you're like, I don't necessarily know, like I know my stroke is good, I know it works. Was it kind of a little bit hard? I don't want to say you ever like push back a little bit, or were you kind of just like, hey, like these are my coaches, they know correctly. Like if I don't, they're just going to continue to hammer me over and over and over until I actually get it right.
Yeah. No, I actually everything that they were telling me, like it made sense. So I actually came in and I was like, do I not know how to swim breaststroke like correctly now or what? But because like every single day I learned something new and I was like, oh, that does make sense. Like push like connecting your core into swimming and like contracting it. And I was like, oh, well, I've never used my abs before during breaststroke. And I tried it and I was like, that's completely different, you know?
Yeah, and it's probably so much easier as well, kind of having everything involved,
Hmm.
not maybe specifying on specific muscles. Because if you do, then again, you talked about getting sore, you talked about kind of lifting. I'm sure the physical toll that you take at Arizona State is probably a different physical toll than what you took at high school. Like obviously swimming is swimming, but like there's a different type of intensity when it comes to
Yes.
college swimming than when it was prior to college.
Yeah. So like we'll swim to like fast stuff, just like constantly, and you're just breaking down your body into just exhaustion almost, and just to see where you can go. So the intensity on that is a very big part in changing when it goes to from high school into your college career.